In the south of Ukraine, the armed forces of Ukraine continue to destroy the enemy's logistical routes, command posts of units, and places of accumulation of enemy forces and means. Details. The Daily Report notes that last night, rocket and artillery units of the armed forces of Ukraine attacked 2 command posts, 2 ammunition depots, air defense systems, a radar station and enemy artillery concentration areas. It was also noted that the Ukrainian military secured fire control over the Kakhovsky and Antonovsky automobile bridges. Recall, since July, the armed forces of Ukraine have been keeping strategic bridges in the Kherson region under fire control, preventing the enemy from bringing weapons and ammunition to this sector of the front. The invaders are trying to build pontoon crossings across the Dnieper, but Ukrainian artillery is also working on them. On August 29, the Kakhovka task force reported that Ukrainian defenders destroyed almost all major bridges near Kherson and broke through the first line of defense of Russian troops in the Kherson region. The administration of U.S. President Joe Biden will soon announce additional security assistance for Ukraine. This was stated on Wednesday by White House National Security spokesman John Kirby, writes, European Truth, with reference to Reuters. In the coming days there will be announcements of upcoming security assistance, Kirby said at the briefing. As reported, the administration of U.S. President Joe Biden in the past 2 months has been helping the Ukrainian military prepare for a counteroffensive in the south, satisfying their specific requests for military assistance. On Ukraine's Independence Day, the White House announced the largest ever military aid package of nearly $3 billion. The U.S. has provided about $13 billion in military aid to Ukraine since Russia launched its invasion of Ukraine on February 24. It was unofficially reported that the Biden administration also plans to announce a long-term military mission to support Ukraine in the near future and appoint a general in charge of supplying aid and training the Ukrainian military. The European Union will suspend an agreement with Russia that simplifies the issuance of visas, but there will not be a complete ban on the issuance of visas. This was stated on Wednesday by the head of the Hungarian Foreign Ministry, Péter Szijjártó, according to Reuters. According to the Hungarian minister, there is no unanimity among the EU countries on the issue of a complete visa ban. Szijjártó said Hungary, along with some other member states, opposes Russia's visa ban. At the same time, he said that the bloc would suspend the agreement with Russia, which simplifies the issuance of visas. It has been operating since 2007. Breaking the 2007 deal would remove preferential treatment for Russians when applying for all EU visas, require more documents, make them more expensive and significantly increase waiting times. At the same time, the Hungarian politician said that the country had signed an agreement with Russia's Gazprom on additional gas supplies from the 1st of September. Visa ban for Russians, what you should know. Today, August 31, EU countries must reach an agreement on a possible ban on Russian tourist visas. This issue will be discussed at the second panel of today's meeting of EU ministers in Prague. Italian Foreign Minister Luigi Di Maio said that among the member states of the European Union there are different opinions about a possible ban on issuing visas to Russian citizens. A number of countries, in particular, France and Germany, oppose the introduction of a complete ban on the issuance of EU visas to Russian citizens. Suspension of visa facilitation agreements with Russia and Belarus is considered as a compromise solution. The Financial Times, citing sources, reported that EU foreign ministers supported the suspension of the EU visa facilitation agreement with Russia in order to limit the number of visas issued to Russians. European Union Foreign Minister Josep Borrell opposed the proposal to ban the issuance of Schengen visas to Russian citizens. He also said on the eve of the ministerial meeting that European Union foreign ministers were unlikely to unanimously support a visa ban for all Russians. The 5 EU countries bordering Russia, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, Poland and Finland may ban Russian tourists from entering their countries, even if the EU does not impose a nationwide ban. Latvia is also considering the possibility of cancelling visas and residence permits for Russians who support the war against Ukraine. The Ukrainian military will advance along the entire front line and will destroy the entire warehouse infrastructure of the Russian invaders, so not only in the south, but also in other sectors of the front, heat begins. Mikhail Podolyak, advisor to the head of the Office of the President of Ukraine, stated this on TSN. Heat begins along the entire front line. In the south, the number of high-precision shelling of the logistics and rear infrastructure of the Russian army has increased, he said. A counteroffensive in the Ukrainian sense is a slightly different type of war that we are waging, it is a modern type of war. It is Russia that is waging such a classic Soviet type of war, when they gathered a certain amount of manpower, several thousand, and went in a separate direction in order to take half a kilometer of territory. And how many people will die, for them there is no difference, Podolyak explained. He stressed that waging this type of war on the Ukrainian side is nonsense, and explained what a counteroffensive would look like. We are actively using these already glorious HIMARS and all MLRS systems in order to destroy the rear support. It's just that the number of accumulated guided missiles, rockets we have is increasing, because partners are helping us intensively. So, we are intensively destroying this entire warehouse infrastructure, warehouses of the first, second, third levels, fuel bases, operational tactical headquarters. And in this way we bleed the military groups of the Russian Federation, and gradually push them back from our territory. This is exactly what the counteroffensive will be like, said the advisor to the chairman of the presidential office. He stressed that Ukrainian troops will advance along the entire front line, and not just in the south. I would like to note that not only in the south. Today it is happening in the Melitopol direction, and in the Kharkiv direction. And especially there is an active defense in the Donetsk-Luhansk direction. Why are we doing this tactic of thousands of cuts for the Russian army? Because they must move our reserves in panic along the entire front line, along all 1,300 kilometers. Let them think where Ukraine will attack today. We will advance along the entire front. We will attack the entire warehouse infrastructure along the entire front line, Podolyak stressed.